Hello, welcome to another weekend of Punters Guide. Probably the final trials before the Cheltenham Festival. We'll look at those races at Kempton and Newcastle with Frankie and John. Jason Weaver's going to join us a lot later as well to look at the stand action at Lingfield. But I'm going to have to mention it. Joel, his 5 winners last week. Looks like bearing his fruit there, finds a few things in his room. I see there's more stuff in the room than there was last week. And looks like Frankie's sold it all to get his Cheltenham money.
Well, we normally say save your chips for Cheltenham. They went out the window last weekend. I've sold this and I'm back in the game. So,
Please gamble responsibly.
Yeah, this is brilliant. I've got it. One sec. Oh, can I have this on Constitution Hill to win by more than 8 lengths, please?
Is that what you're spending all your money on then?
Got a new telly, got Peloton for the missus. It's off Facebook Marketplace, but
available.
I'm just saying, it was off Facebook Marketplace. It's fine, and I've realised this thing, and I'm putting it out there now. You know, when you win a few quid, right? Take it out of your account, get it in your bank account, and go and treat yourself. Because I'm in red hot form this week. If it all goes wrong,
yeah, you can sell your Peloton.
Going back on Facebook Marketplace.
Right, make a profit, Joe. You never know.
Yeah.
Goodbye. I tell you what.
Let's go on.
If I get 6 out of 6 winners this week, I will do that show next week on the bike.
Okay. I'm praying for it.
Yeah,
is there anything we can cover with a few odds-on shots?
Shut up.
Right, it's going to be tough though because we've got good handicaps to look at. Let's start with the Adonis, shall we? It's a trial. I'll start with you, Frankie. You've seen scriptwriter plenty this year. I think he's going to take some beating, but the Irish are coming over to test the water with Nusret.
Yeah, I was and ahhing a fair bit between the top two here, scriptwriter and Nusret. I don't think we've seen the best of Nusret yet because he's raced on pretty testing conditions. They've both been beaten by Comfort Zone, haven't they, by similar margins. Last time when Nusret was beaten, that was real testing condition. I don't think that suits him. If you go back to the run before behind Gala Marseille and Lossymouth, 2 horses which are a calibre above scriptwriter for me, I think he actually put in a decent performance. And then if you go back further to his flat form, all of his best form comes on good ground. So coming over here with better ground, I still don't think we've seen the best of this horse over hurdles. And I don't think they'd be having a crack here for no reason. It's not necessary to come over England unless there's a race that suits. And I think this does, the ground does. And I do fancy the Irish Raider, Nusret.
Yeah, he pulled hard at Leopardstown. It was a messy race last time out, but I think scriptwriter and that second to the Comfort Zone, I think that's real solid form, Joel.
Yeah, probably should have won that day. And a lot of people were having a pop at Paddy Brennan, who, as you know, is a class jockey. And he came out afterwards and said that, he'd got a couple of things wrong. He brought the horse the wrong way after the final flight, got in front too soon. Do you know it was a lead horse for Aidan O'Brien, this horse? So it would go off 1,000,000 miles an hour. And Milton Harris has said, doesn't like the stick. Don't start talking about him. If Emily mentions the whip anymore this week, we won't have any jockeys for Cheltenham. So it doesn't like the stick and doesn't like to be in front too soon. It will not necessarily need a Archibald ride, but I think it's the best form in the race by a mile for scriptwriter. Nusret for Joseph, isn't it? Yeah. 6s into 4s. I watched the race at Fairy House last week, the one that Blood Destiny won. Very bizarre. Was out the back. It was a bizarre ride. So if they're going for it, go for it. But I think scriptwriter is a very strong bet this weekend.
Yeah, Paddy Brennan's only ride of the day as well. I thought that was interesting. Right, let's go to the novice chase, the Pendil, over 2.5 miles. We've got Boot. Haley won here over Christmas by Tommy's Oscar last time. And That's All Right, Gina behind Stage Star at Cheltenham. It's the 5 go to post, Joel.
Yeah, That's All Right, Gina for me. Again, it's another one. I think there's some really good bets this weekend. That's All Right, Gino. If you look at Boot Hill, beaten at Doncaster last time by Tommy's Oscar, you should be really beating Tommy's Oscar, if you're talking about that. That's All Right, Gino. Beaten by Stage Star last time. Sloppy at times is what the notes have made here. That's All Right, Gino. Beaten ahead by Boot Hill over the 2 miles, £3 between them. Last time they raced together. Loved the step up in trip last time. Really crying out for it. I don't think Boot Hill wants this trip. And if you bring in that, is it Calico? The one that was
Calico.
that gave John Bond the scare. Some form ties in with That's All Right, Gino, as well. I think the step up's key for me over the 2 mile 4. Boot Hill doesn't look like he wants it. £5 difference today, and I think it's a really strong bet, and the bookies have got them the wrong way around.
There we are then. So that's between the top two. That's All Right, Gino for Joel, but Messrs Skelton, Nichols and Henderson also have runners in opposition, Frankie.
Yeah, I'm also willing to take on the favourite. The trip worries me slightly for Boot Hill, but not with That's All Right, Gino, with Solo. This horse probably wasn't good enough in graded races last year, but has progressed this year, I think, albeit running in handicaps. He's won one, come second twice, and all of those handicaps has been racing at the top of the weight. So it's not like he wasn't good enough and he's been snuck into a few handicaps on a handy mark. He's been racing in decent handicaps at the top of the weights and still performing. The two horses that have beaten him, we've got Balco Coastal and Thunder Rock. Both of those follow Jerry Colomhome, who's now a market leader for the festival. I think the form's really strong. And although that Solo was a way back behind a couple of them, Cobden was clear a third, and both times he had a little look round and realised that he could probably just sit and accept second. So I think Solo's progressed massively this year in handicaps and does deserve his shot in a grade 2. But it is very competitive. I mean, the fact we're both willing to take the fav on and we're both fairly strong on different selections tells you that it'll be a good race, this. But I'm willing to give Solo a chance.
Years ago on this card that Solo burst onto the scene, didn't he? Running the Adonis in really good style. Right. One or two big handicaps on the card. We've got the Eider at Newcastle. We've also got this Coral Trophy at Kempton. Both races won last year by Christian Williams, and he could be at it again. Captain Nord, 7 days after his win at Ascot. Are you sticking with him, Frankie?
He deserves his mention. I mean, Christian Williams is obviously going for the double again, isn't he? The Eider Chase and this Coral Trophy. And Captain was clearly in flying form. Has he won too soon and his mark's gone up too much? We'll find out. He stuck the £5 claim on to try and balance that out for his win last time out. So he'd definitely be trying. He definitely deserves to be at the top of the market, and it wouldn't be a massive surprise. But I don't know if Joel's going to have the same opinion here, but it might be a matter of jockey's job. St. Calvados, just for comical value. Because we love to talk about this on this show. St. Calvados has run at the festival. Be nice. He's been a neck second to Min in a Ryanair with A Plutard back in third. He's come third and fourth in consecutive King Georges. He is a grade 1 horse. David Maxwell bought him and has rode him twice and been a passenger at 2 mile 4, and subsequently his mark's gone to 154. I don't think it's the horse that has regressed. I think the jockey may have had a part to play in that. This horse hasn't been rated 154 since he first went chasing, and he didn't even have a hurdle career. He started in the 150. So I think Harry Cobden could be licking his lips here. He's a graded horse. Hopefully he hasn't regressed. It's back to something that was suit trip-wise. Cobden takes the ride now, and 154 could look generous, because I still think he's a grade 1 horse. He's just had a David Maxwell enjoying himself 2 times around to drop the mark. So I thought this is where we might be heading as a podcast this week, John.
Well, having not spoke to you about this beforehand, I've got here written second, Min, Ryanair, A Plutard, Mark 154, Maxwell, Cobbs for Harry Cobden. There you go. You're sitting there. Now, if it wasn't, a rich fella and a very nice fella in David Maxwell, we'd think they're at it here, wouldn't they? You think they're at it, getting a handicap mark right down. But it's all genuine. Now, whatever David Maxwell has paid for this horse, if he has, can he bet if he's an amateur? He can, can't he? He can have a bet if he's an amateur. So if he has a bet, right, whatever he gets, he pays for this horse. Because I think this is brilliant. I got it down to 3 horses in this race. St. Calvados, Our Power, just for the target, Sam the target man, is targeting this race. And Frodon is horrendously overpriced. Top weight, loves Kempton. What won the King George? 2020 was it? And then subsequent years, 3rd and 4th, I think. The Badgers beer as well. I think in these handicaps, she can get a breather into him. We all know how it's going to go. She's going to go from the front without patronising anyone. She's going to go from the front, and she can get a breather in these handicaps. And hopefully we're still going. But then we'll see Harry Cobden in the wing mirrors on St. Calvados pulling double, going, I've got 3 stone in hand here. So between, I would probably back to win all 3 of those on there. But I think St. Calvados is probably an each-way bet from the gods this weekend.
It is, yeah. I agree. You've got to have a crack at it, haven't you? You've got to take a chance.
You've got to.
Both strong on St. Calvados, then Harry Cobden back in the plate. Right, let's move on to the Dovecote then. Can anything in here, first of all, can anything bustle those up in the market in the Supreme? And what would be your idea of a winner, starting with you, Frankie?
I think we've got a Supreme winner in here, no. I'm willing to put it bluntly, it's not the best renewal, but and for that reason, really, I'd be willing to take on the favourite. Yes, he's got the best form in the book and he's won well enough last time out, but hasn't beaten a whole lot, and I think still has it all to prove. There's Hansard. You Can Tango for Ollie Murphy. I was impressed with that second at Cheltenham. Springwell Bay was back in third. We saw how good that horse ran last week, and Fenner Cross was on a double, and McConnell's horses have been firing at Cheltenham and targeted quite nicely as well. So I like that form. Last time out, went to the Tolworth, horrible ground, pulled up, probably not good enough to compete in Grade 1 company, but hopefully good enough to come and have a crack at a race like this, especially if they thought he was good enough to at least go and try at Sandown. So You Can Tango, even if you're playing for 2 places, a bit of a soft bet, but I don't really fancy a lot, so I'd probably put it as an each way shot.
Well, then You Can Tango in the Dovecote. Joel?
There are 2 Group 2s this weekend, and they're both Group 2 in name, and they've got Group 2 horses in, and they're not very good. I know I like to scratch. I like to scratch the surface on this one. Now, do you remember when we were talking about Gold Tweed, the French horse that everybody's talking about now? And I bothered to go and have a look at the replays and things like that. Now, I've scratched the surface here with this one. Now, Matt, have you got the market up here for Cape Legend?
Yeah, 20s.
Right, 20s. Chris Gordon, he's around 40% strike rate. He's on fire at the minute. I think it's 7 from 18, and the other ones are being placed. If we go back to his point to point, he was 10 lengths behind which horse? Favourite for the champion bumper?
It's for me.
It's for me. Now we're Willie Mullins. Field on Valentine's Day, a novice hurdle there. And for a race which I don't fancy anything in, I went value seeking, and I would give that a shot. There's only 7 runners at time of recording, so we're only getting the first 2. If you can find a Betfred on a good day, and it'll give you 3, it's a brilliant each-way bet. If not, it's a great fun bet when anything out that field could win. And I thought I'd just scratch the surface.
Yeah, I think Cape Legend at a big price in the Dovecote, maybe for Joel. Let's move up north then to Newcastle for the Eider. And this is the 3rd longest race of the calendar behind the Grand National, the Midlands National. 4 miles, 1.5 furlongs. I always like to look for something at a bit of a price in these handicaps, but when I was looking at this, I just kept coming back to Kitty's Light, Joel. I mean, I know the form figures aren't inspiring, but he looks absolutely chucked in on his spring form from last year.
I don't know what Christian Williams is feeding his horses at the minute, but let me tell you, wherever he's getting his stock, it's fantastic. One thing. I don't like vegetables. That was just a gag. Look, he's down to 132. He's down £12 since October in 5 runs. Second in the Scottish National off 143. Third in the Bet365 off 145. Trainer is in form. He hasn't won in 14 starts. The extreme distance will do it for him off 132. I mean, £12 in 5 runs. Trainer in form. This is a thing of beauty.
There we are. Kitty's Light for me. Kitty's Light for Joel. Frankie, can you make it a trio?
Yeah, it's a hat trick. I mean, £11 down for that second behind Wing My Wings. In this, I think, yeah, it's mental. Like, you've only got to follow Captain All. Captain Horse just slightly ahead of Kitty's progression in the sense that Cap's gone down, 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 bang second, then 1-1, now favourite for the other big handicap on the weekend. Kitty's Light has also gone down, 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 hasn't had a race yet, or at least not one that they're trying to win. I mean, to be fair, the third last time out actually wasn't too bad. And then here we go, all systems go. He's going to have a crack at the big pot again. So, yeah, it's obvious. Yeah, it's 11-4 in a massive handicap. But Kitty's Light looks so strong. The good ground will suit as well. The trip's perfect. Everything goes in Kitty's favour. If I had to try and find an each way price, just because of some people might not want to play a fav, No Cruise Yet is one going the other way, going up in the handicaps, but rightly so because has been improving with every run. This is another horse that won't mind the trip or the ground. I think you've got to be looking for horses that stay on good ground here and perform on good ground, because 4 miles, whatever it is, on good ground, it's quite a niche market, really. You want a horse that's going to enjoy that, and Kitty's for me looks bang on, and No Cruise Yet would be the each way play.
Interesting, yeah. I know
that's the Sam England horse, yeah.
Yeah.
When she first started training, I didn't realise that she was a girl and not a boy. So I was at Haydock doing the announcing that day, and it had a winner. And I was looking for Sam, expecting like a fella looking around like that, and this beautiful lady walks up. I didn't realise she was a girl. Fair play. But hey, that sounds really sexist. Move on.
Well, that's what I think. Sam England, not Sam Smith.
Oh yeah, too right.
You won't miss him in the parade ring anyway.
Yeah.
I know you go with these stats. A really weird stat, which just caught my eye. Last 5 winners of this race, all 9-year-old. 3 of them carried 11 stone. 1 carried 10-13 and 1 11-1. So the last 5 run-ins, all 9-year-olds, all within £2, around about the 11 stone mark. Shanty Alley fits every single trend when it comes to that. And you dig into the form, it's not without hope either, around about 20-25. So, but no, it's got to be Kitty's Light, hasn't it? Looks absolutely amazing. Right, quick one on Sunday, the Fontwell there, big feature, the National Spirit, Goshen, Nappers Hill, Prashima, Sco Royale, and Brewing Up a Storm. Good 5 here, Joel.
No prices in as of yet. I don't think Nappers Hill will go with it. It only ran like a week ago.
It's been declared. I think he'll go, yeah.
Authorised speed can't jump. Could win or be tailed off, or go around the track backwards or sideways. I've just no idea. I think if you're playing on the day, Brewing Up a Storm, beaten ahead last year in this by Botox has. Won the year before 5 lengths to McFabulous. That'd be a tentative selection, but Goshen either wins by half the track or goes around sideways.
Interesting. This has got Brewing Up a Storm's right. It's not. He won't go to Cheltenham. He'll be prepping for Aintree, but he's 10 years old now. But this is his type of race. But it is a really Goshen makes it a must watch, doesn't he, Frankie?
See, I don't get all of this Goshen. Right? Yeah, he's had his days, but of recent, third of 3, but chasing. We know he can't jump a fence. Kempton, second behind Paisley Park, great form over hurdles. Before that, beat Brewing Up a Storm, great form over hurdles. Then 2 runs on the flat, which are actually decent, but let's ignore them because we're talking about a hurdle race. Before that, 1 at Wincanton over hurdles. And before that, 1 at Sandown over hurdles. If you go back through his hurdling form, there's nothing quirky about him. It's only when he goes to Cheltenham or he jumps a fence that he's crap. Besides that, he's actually decent, and he's actually become fairly straightforward. His last 5 or 6 races over hurdles are very straightforward. He's either won or placed. Obviously, left-handed track is a slight question, but if you go back even further, he has won at Fontwell before. So I'm no longer buying Goshen as a scare. If he's over hurdles, I'm willing to side with him. If he's over fences, not a chance. And if he goes to Cheltenham, probably not either. But 2 mile 3 over hurdles. He's beat Brewing Up a Storm before. I think he's a slight class above these, not just on his day, but more days than not at the moment.
I thought he couldn't jump. I thought he couldn't jump left.
Yeah, there would be, I was supposed to say, be a slight scare, but he has won at Fontwell before.
So. Yeah. So why are we going left? Why are we going left? I mean, there is a horrendous 1 mile race at Maidan on Saturday at 3:45. I mean, you might as well have a pop there because I like quirky horses. It's a bit like, I love girls who've got a little bit of, I don't know why I'm going on sexy. I like girls who've got a little bit about them and a bit nuts and whatever. That's why, I really like Goshen. But if you own this horse, I don't think it'd be, imagine the WhatsApp group or the messages going back and forth. It'd be a nightmare, but fun to watch. X-rated stuff, probably.
So in an entire year, he's raced 4 times over hurdles and has won every single one of them by a second to Paisley Park. That's not bad form. But yeah, he might do
he's top rated. During Scoria out. No, he'll have his chance if he's on his best behaviour. That's the thing, isn't it? So, right, 6 races done. I want your best bets for the weekend, starting with you first, please, Frankie.
I'm going to stick with Cobden licking his lips on St. Calvados. That is a solid each-way bet. Like we said, if you can't get it winning now in a race like this off of that mark, then you give up and you probably don't back that one again. But it looks teed up lovely.
Best bet, please, Joel.
I was going to say St. Calvados, but I'm going to go different to him, just because I can see he's got no furniture behind him, and I don't want to be, living in a squat. I'll tell you what, he's got brilliant 5 gig sets of squat. Kitty's Light. I think they've done a brilliant job here of 1-3-2. Kitty's Light looks a good thing in what looks competitive, but is not.
Yeah, that's the jump section on then, Joel. Is in man in form, 5 winners last week, and he's on the Magic Carrots as well. Right, let's join Jason then, because there's some racing as well at Lingfield. Look forward to in front of the ITV4 cameras this weekend. And here he is, as promised, Jason Weaver, to look at a couple of races on the poly track. I'm going to start with the 130. This is going to be lickety split, that flying 5 furlongs, Jason.
Absolutely, yeah. The Hever Sprint. Ron and John Popely, who own Hever Castle just up the road. It's a massive golf course complex as well. They used to own the superstar mare Hever Golf Rose, and so they've long been sponsors of this particular contest. I mean, One Night Stand is bidding to back up last year's success. Probably going to find it hard, if I'm being honest. Loads of improvers. Miss Nay, Never. Exalted Angel was 4th in this last year. Alligator Alley, a little bit disappointing last time behind Tone the Brown. That was at Wolverhampton. I've actually landed with the old boy Arecibo in here for Robert Cowell and Jamie Spencer. Now, you have to go right back through his form. It was very early on. He ran a couple of times on the all-weather in France, once at Newcastle when he originally came over, and then we haven't seen him on a synthetic since. So, look, he's not got a bad record, fresh. He goes in new ownership. He was obviously bought to stay in the yard, and he's got an inside pitch as well. Spencer, fast and late.
Yes, it could set up nicely for him if he gets the breaks. It certainly caught my eye, the old boy. Of course, he has been second in the King's Stand before as well, hasn't he? So that is the sprint. Talking of Group 1s, we've got a Group 1 runner in the Winter Derby at 2:05. Lord North, odds on. Not been seen since 4th, beating a length in the Eclipse, Jason.
Yeah, look, if you go down through official ratings, he's 118. If it was that straightforward, we may as well not have the contest and he'll just go and win. He ran well in this last year. He then went on, obviously, if you think he was, 2 and a bit lengths behind Alan Kerr. Alan Kerr went and proved himself a Group 1 winner over in Ireland afterwards. Forest of Dean, he won this in 2021. He was 8 lengths behind the winner in this last year. Fox's Tales is an unknown. King of the South, probably not good enough, even though he's been in pretty decent form. He was 4 lengths behind Forest of Dean up at Newcastle. I think it's a matchup between Gosden's 2. I know he's got 3 in there, but 2 of them, Lord North and Forest of Dean. I thought he won against the bias last time. However, Lord North has had that racecourse gallop at Chelmsford. Just the other day, he was taken for a leg stretch, a nice little pipe opener. He should be sharper. He should be too good.
Should be too good, yes. He is like the odds on for the Winter Derby. What would be the idea of a best bet on the card on Saturday, please?
Best bet on the card, a little bit later on the card at Lingfield, 4:25. Bashful Boy for David Pipe and Rob Hornby. Was okay on the flat, went jumping, came back, had a leg stretch around here over 1.5 miles. Massive eye catcher. Looks a straight match between Bashful and Minister for Magic. I think he'll go and absolutely dot up.
There we are then. Look forward to that one, a bashful boy, a little later on. But thanks to Jason, thanks to Joel and Frankie as well. That was this weekend's Punters Guide. Don't forget, join us on Monday for our continuing Road to Cheltenham series. And whether you're back in this weekend, the best of luck.